we're going to talk about the FEC filings from Mr. Palazzo. He was saying that his company...
Green Acres LLC is owned by Steven Palazzo, which is on his financial disclosure for Congress as a personal asset. And he pays himself, or he pays rent to it for $3,000 a month. And he just started that back in like 2017 or 18. And that's actually a personal possession.
Okay.
And you can't pay out of your campaign finance funds for your personal possession.
Okay, well, why don't we just go ahead and do this? Are you alleging something actually criminal, or are you saying it's just ethically
No,
gray?
it's actually criminal. That's
Okay.
the FEC is actually investigating right now.
Okay.
And besides that, if you go Google his campaign offices,
Mm-hmm.
well, he's never had one. He's got congressional offices, but he's never had a campaign office.
Okay.
But yet, for the last 2 to 3 years, he's paying campaign utilities. But I actually went to one of his congressional offices in Gulfport, talked to a young lady there, very nice, and I just went and asked her, so where's your his campaign offices? We don't have any. We have reps out in the field. And I said, okay. So even according to his campaign, or his congressional offices, they don't have campaign offices. So how do you take and have a write-off or expenditure for utilities, lawn care, if you don't even have a campaign office?
Okay. All right. Well, based on it, you seem like a man who does his research real well.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, though.
Okay. There have been allegations before
Mhm.
against Mr. Palazzo where they were investigated and they had one of the alphabet soups come to Mississippi and sit down and talk about it, and nothing came of it. Why do you think now that he will be held accountable?
Well, that's the reason why I'm going on the news and I'm going on these stations and stuff. It's because of the fact that I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the FEC or the House Ethics Committee to actually investigate it. You know, they might just take any excuse he gives them when there's no excuse for this. Devin Hunter got 5 years for spending money for personal use. So if they don't investigate it, you know, and this is only, the only thing I'm looking at is the first 9 months of 2019.
Okay.
You go back to 2018, he collected over $1 million in donations. And he spent every dime of it. From 1/1 to 12/31, he was spending money. An average about $3,000 a day. Now, how often do you see Palazzo in here campaigning? Never, right?
I've never seen him. Okay.
So how are you spending your campaign funds all year round? First 9 months of 2019, same thing. Started spending at the beginning of the year. He's not running for nothing. He's not campaigning. But he spends that money all the way through. $120,000 at the Hyatt Regency, D.C. in August. Said Canada travel, 120 grand. Now, what could you possibly spend 120 grand at a hotel for? The only thing I can think of is
Nothing.
he either was staying there for the whole year
Mm-hmm.
in Congress, or he threw a big party for his PACs and lobbyists. But whatever it is, it's not right, because, you know, that money could go to a lot of other places that could use it. And I've met with a lot of veterans organizations, and I told them the same story, and I said, wouldn't that $120,000 help you out more than a party for him? And every one of them were like, oh yeah, 120 grand would have gone a long ways for us.
Okay.
So, again, if I'm elected, whatever money I bring in, whatever I spend on my congressional race, whatever's left over, I'm going to go out and help people like CASA, all these veterans organizations I've been meeting with, homeless vets, Crusaders for Vets that help homeless vets. You know, he's trying to build housing for homeless vets. You know, that 120 grand would have gone a long way. He only needs 385,000 to build it, to start it. So that 120 grand would have gone a long ways. The $1 million he brought in 2018 that he spent like his own piggy bank. And again, I haven't gone through all that, but I've already seen so many abnormal things in there that I've been researching. I'll be willing to bet you there's just a ton of stuff in there as well too. Well, one, he bought a golf cart and an enclosed trailer. Now, have you seen Steven Palazzo out campaigning in his golf cart?
No, I haven't.
No. So again, how that gets through the FEC, to me, I don't understand. That's a personal, item. And you can bet it's at his farm up in Perkinson. So, there's just so many, you wonder how these politicians get rich. Well, I'm seeing it, going through his finances. I'm seeing it. And I'm just, like I said, I've only done the first 9 months, and only things that I actually researched that stood out really good was the Green Acres LLC, which seemed to me like, well, there's something fishy going on there. Then I did a house ethics violation against him as well, too. And that's over his office, congressional office in Gulfport.
Okay.
His original congressional office in Gulfport was in a high traffic area, right downtown, prime location. And he was paying $3,200 a month for it. And 2018, he moved his office from there to up on 84th, which is like a residential neighborhood. And it's way off the beaten path. And he's paying $6,000 a month. So I thought, well, that looks a little strange too. So I took in, I researched who owned it, who bought it, and it was bought in 2018 by a lawyer. So I researched the lawyer, he owns a property company, and I called them and I emailed them to find out what properties they own. They never responded, so I'm thinking, well, maybe they only own one property. So I went back and looked to see who owned it, and then I went back on Steven Palazzo's history, and the same lawyer that owns that property actually did some work for Steven Palazzo. So I'm guessing there's some kind of connection. It was his lawyer at one time, I'm not sure if he still is, but it was his lawyer at one time, or friend, and now he's leasing this building for $6,000 a month. And then I researched for real estate what the going rate for rent is at an area, and it's $12 to $14 a square foot. Well, he's paying $30 a square foot. So he's paying double the amount for a building in a neighborhood that's off the beaten path.
Curious.
So if it's not illegal, it sure seems like it, because somebody's making money off of that, and it's our tax dollars. And that's one of the things that, if I make it to Congress, I actually want to work with the House Ethics Committee to investigate these things a little bit more, and the FEC to make these filings a little bit more, in depth.
Okay.
To put 120 grand down for candidate travel for the Washington D.C. Higher Regency, to me, that's a little vague.
Okay. Well, if you're going to work with the ethics committee and the FEC, how are you about strengthening what they could do? Because I could name about a dozen members of Congress that have been slapped with violations, and they are censured. Basically, you sit there, you sleep, we pay you,
Yeah.
and you can't do anything. That doesn't sound like much of a punishment to me. So, I mean, if you said you wanted to investigate, how are you looking at making those laws or making those rules a bit more impactful than sit down and sleep on our dime?
Well, that's what I think we should do. I think we should make them more stringent. I mean, I think as a congressman, you shouldn't be going there to enrich yourself.
Okay. You
should be going there for a reason to help. And that's why term limits is important. Because these guys get there and get entrenched. Carl Boyanton, District 4, Mississippi.
Okay. Thank you, sir.